this time of year brings a smile to your face as you look back and think with thanks of all the many gifts people have been to you, and kind of warms your heart and makes you want to give your own gifts, but not just going to the store and buying some cheap junk or ordering on Amazon, but actually making something from your heart, from your hands, from your soul, and giving that gift on Christmas morning. What a difference, huh? I heard a little.
I've been the recipient of many, yes.
Thank you. Thank you.
Beautiful gifts.
It's very nice. Well, before I get into all this, I received a gift recently in the mail. It was very carefully packaged. No, I have not been hitting the sauce.
That would be a lot of sauce.
I know. This is an old-time canister. I guess, what do they call it? Stoneware. And this was actually from a wholesale liquor dealer in Little Falls, New York, whose name was Thomas E. McLaughlin. This is so close. I am the same except a G. Sounds like it. But some wonderful neighbor, friend, I don't know if they're in the neighborhood officially, but they're a neighbor in our heart, was thoughtful enough to carefully package this, to buy it and send it to us and me. And when I opened it, I carefully put the return address with it so I could write a little note, and I lost it. So if you're on right now, I'm hoping this is going to cover it. But thank you so much. This is so awesome. It might be a little big and a little out of place, but maybe it's fitting in a workshop. But I'll have it in my office for sure. On the
We could probably make that E into a G. Get a little paint and
yeah, you
make
could.
it fit.
But then it would lose its value. It's nearly priceless item. So, all right. Well, thank you so much for tuning in. We want to go over some of our favorite gifts. But before we get into that, we had a little special new feature we wanted to offer where we recognize some great work by someone in the neighborhood who posted recently on the forum. So the monthly neighbor work we want to feature this time is from Tony. Should we say last names?
I don't know.
Tony M.
He's on here, so.
Oh, he is. Okay. So, Tony, do you want us to give your last name? All right. Anyway.
We probably shouldn't. We'll just keep it that way.
No, we shouldn't. I was on the forum, and as many do, there they will post their work and sometimes ask questions, sometimes share struggles, like in the middle of something. There've been there's always something going on, right? And then there's the victories, sharing these finished pieces. And Tony shared 2 awesome pieces that he was clearly making for Christmas gifts this year. And I don't think the recipients are big fans of this little program.
Booming show.
So we're safe to share these videos, I think. We've got Tony's permission. And so the first one is a cherry blanket chest. And I thought it was so nice, don't you think? The blanket chest, just beautiful job gluing up, matching those cherry boards on top. Beautiful warm cherry. And I can only imagine how nice and deep that's going to get over time. It's such a great wood for blanket chests. And Tony did mention he overcame some challenges. The end panels were somehow cut a little short, and he had to remake them, which meant you had to do pins first, is what you said in there, which is Frank Klaus's method. And you mentioned here, Frank would have been proud. So transferring the pins to the tails is some fun work. The other great piece that Tony is making, and I thought a blanket chest would be enough, but he's hitting the road, and his daughter-in-law requested a little table. The table I thought was really awesome, an amalgamation of a lot of different techniques and creative choices, and just a beautiful job on that, Tony. It was a whole mixture of various types of sapele. The table base was quarter sawn sapele, and the top is wavy sapele veneer and banded sapele, and the bow front was pomely sapele in a sunburst pattern. All the inlay lines and cuffed feet or foot jackets, as Tony says here, are gaboon ebony, and the finish is shellac with aqua coat, grain filler, and Sutherland Wells wiping varnish. Wow, that's an awesome Christmas. We all want to get on your Christmas list, Tony. All right, so some ideas for gifts. If you've been around watching our Shop Night Live episodes for the last 5,
It would be
almost
7.
Oh
It would
my
be 7
gosh.
in March. Yeah.
We've done lots of small projects, many to think about as gift giving, and to demonstrate techniques, use of materials, tools, and all those little aspects of woodworking. So a little project that features a certain type of tool or approach, I've always felt that was the best way to learn. And the courses we offer are just much more involved than some of these simpler projects that we could achieve on Shop Night Live, or just in a half to an hour. So some of them, they're awesome. They make great gifts, and many of them are for the kitchen. So one that we made some time ago was this little trivet, this little octagonal trivet. And this is a very simple piece to make. I think we're going to link to this video.
That is one I did not link yet, but
Okay.
I can. There's many in the description already.
But this you can make on the table saw. But this one I actually made by hand, completely by hand. And this was actually chiseled and hand planed. And it's a great exercise to understand grain direction and how to saw, and because every time you're coming in one of these directions, you're going across the grain or you're going with or into the grain. Here, you need to plane this way. So really wonderful project to work on, and we talked about that in that little video. And it's a great little gift, a little trivet like this. We did other versions where we pierced it, almost like like an apple pie, like a laced. Remember that one?
Yes, I'll put both of those in.
Yeah, that was crazy. We didn't quite finish that one, but such is life. Another great one that we actually did this one with spalted maple, but this board is you could consider it a cutting board or a charcuterie board. This is gorgeous flame birch. So you have the red birch here and yellow birch here. Some people think they're different trees, but they're actually just the sapwood and the heartwood distinction. So when you get red birch, you're just getting the heartwood of this birch tree, and the yellow is the sapwood. But they're equal hardness. You can't even hardly tell any difference at all. And this one happens to be a beautiful example of flame birch, with a nice little wiping varnish on there. And that, I think we have as the charcuterie board. And then we did one of that really expensive charcuterie board, remember, or cutting board that,
Morton Esherick.
yeah, Ward and Esherick made, yeah. Again, with the flame birch, we did this project, and this has gotten a lot of use.
Here, yeah.
And many of you are here for the classes or maybe even the Epic Weekends. We've used these. These are just, they're not pizza peels technically, like that would slide pizza into an oven. These are pizza servers. So the thickness is just, I guess it's 3/8 to 7/16 thick. They're fairly thin, but this was a great exercise project to take a plain sawn plank of, again, flame birch and rip that plain sawn plank into strips and glue them up by flipping them, so you end up having a quarter sawn board, which creates a really interesting pattern. But more than that, this large, thin board, you want it to stay relatively flat, and just, you can almost hear that just hits really flat on the table. And it's large. It's, what is this, like, probably like 16, 17? It's 18-inch diameter, so that's held up really well. This is a great, fun project. If you make your own pizzas at home, wonderful little project for serving pizza. You could even put a hole in here if you wanted. Did you want to say something about that?
Oh, we just enjoyed serving many of the folks that came for classes. We had
Yeah.
pizza before the Shop Night Live episodes this summer.
We made 3 of those. We made 3 of those, so we have them for big parties, because the camera lady makes a mean pizza. So that's a special treat when you come for one of the events. Well, not the Epic Weekends, but the
Yes,
classes.
the classes.
Now, one of the great ones, I've made many of these. This is always a winner. This just a nice, simple turning project. And this I consider, it's considered a French rolling pin. It's got a larger center and it tapers off thinner on the ends. They make them even more slender, but I kind of like this one. And that larger space in the middle allows you to press out the dough. And I don't know all about the geometry. I don't know if I've ever used it.
Oh, I have. It's great.
Okay. But they are, some people swear by them. Some like this, just the straight, like round. But this is a great project too. And I think we did do a night on that. I'm almost sure, yeah.
Yes, I need to put that link in there too.
Here's one that you've seen. This is the last one for the
Stuff out of my kitchen.
I know, right? Used this morning. This is an end grain cutting board. These are great, fun, easy, relatively easy projects to make. All of these, I think, good beginner classes. You can make them with a child, teaching them woodworking. The end grain is more challenging than if you just went with like a flat version of a cutting board. But I just find it's so much nicer. They're considered to be more durable because they're like the big chopping blocks. You have the end grain facing you. So it's a little harder. You're making knife cuts more into the feathery end grain than across the tubes of the grain. So you don't cut up the board quite as rapidly as you do on a flat sawn type board. And you can make them into all kinds of patterns. I prefer just a simple brick-laid like pattern. And every now and then you need to refresh them. So you've got to clean them. Usually you can use hydrogen peroxide on there. A lot of people suggest using kosher salt, putting some water on there, and then holding half a lemon and squeezing and kind of abrading that salt into the surface while it's wet, and then let it dry. And that has a sterilizing effect to the board. Let it dry out, and then you're going to re-oil it with some type of food-safe oil. Mineral oil is pretty good. And there's other products on the market where you can oil your board as well. So love that. Great project. I bring these to the White Elephants and they're always a big hit. And these cutting boards, too. I'm not sure what we'll bring this year. We've got to go to the family one. So last year's gift was a lot of fun, and it was last year's gift, I should say, to my kids, our kids, our 3 kids, a wall hanging clock, and it's just veneered with some really gorgeous figured maple. And look at that warm golden color it's gotten. I didn't stain this at all. I just used varnish. You got this gorgeous warm color. And then these little dots are actually wenge, which looks a lot like ebony, but you can see it's got a little more grain to it. And it's just kind of a sweet contemporary looking clock. And there's the works back here. And I put 2 hanging locations because when you hang it, there is no top and bottom necessarily. I just thought when you get it in your home, you want to hang it and see how the light is playing off of the grain, because sometimes in one orientation, it comes alive and you see it way more heavily figured. So we have it positioned like this, and the way the light comes across, it's just gorgeous in our kitchen. So love that project. This year's project is, actually, let me talk about one more thing. Making coasters out of wood on your property, or a special tree, like from the family. In fact, a lot of these can be ramped up in significance if you make them out of a tree that everyone knows that came down maybe on your property or in a certain room. A memorable, like, witness tree to your life that you knew, that everyone knows about. Make something out of that. This spalted maple came from a tree right out in front of the shop. In fact, we had a family picture where the 3 kids got up into the kind of the crook of this tree. It was such a massive maple. And Chris and I was standing in front, and it was a fun moment. And we look back on that one, and then that was it was a big old tree, and a huge limb fell on the ground, and it sat there a little while, and it became spalted like this. And I've made several sets of coasters. I made a set for my son who lives out in Pasadena, California, and gave it to him for Christmas one year. And it's fun to go to the house and see those on the coffee table. And I know they're meaningful because they kind of connect him with home. So that's a nice project. We do have the video, Shop Night Live will link to that. You can access that easily and check that out. I love that project. Made several of those. And then this year, many of you, I think, have made the Kleenex boxes, the tissue boxes. I actually love those. It's such a classy way to have your tissues at the ready. Once you have a classy tissue box that is going to be, I don't have a finished example here. We're actually working on them right now. But this is a zebra wood top, and it will have a sides and front. So the front will be like this, and the ends will also have the grain running vertically like this. But you get all these nice miters. Once you get them to this point, you just set up and you route a 45-degree miter on those edges, and it just assembles so fast and easy with simple tape. And we'll link you to that video too, so you can make these. I showed them making them in 2 different ways. So if you get into making boxes, you would have to have, I use 1/4-inch MDF for these, for the core, and then a couple different types of veneer. So I'm telling you, if you're watching this in the future, you don't realize, but it's a week before Christmas. So some of these are going to be tight. Some of them will be easy if you really want to go for it and try to make them.
These are year-round. They can be gifts at any time.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's not...
They do make great housewarming gifts, wedding gifts. I've given, just did the end grain cutting board to my niece, a nice big one. She loves to cook. So just this summer. So it's great. It's easy. And then this is not one for you to make, but this one holds a special place in my heart. It's one I did with my nephew of my only brother. I have 5 sisters, and I had one older brother, Larry. He passed away a few years ago, and he was in the middle of making this train, Christmas train, with his kids. And he had 5 children of his own, so he had his hands full, working a lot as an engineer, and so I think it's genetic. He had some unfinished projects. And anyway, I was over the house one day, and his youngest son said, "Hey, can I show you something in the basement?" And so I went down there, and he showed me the boxes of parts to these trains, and Christmas trains. And he goes, "Would you help me finish these?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, definitely." And so it was like emotional, and he came up to the shop several weekends and stayed over, and because we made, what did we make? 5 or 6 of these trains.
One for each. Yeah.
Yeah, of each of the kids. And then I wanted one. So I made one, and I helped him with everything. And then he got them painted. And there's actually 2 more middle cars. I didn't bring them all out here because we have our Christmas train set up now. And it's really a wonderful tradition to have out on the table. And the caboose actually has a lid. You can put all candies and nuts and whatever in your Christmas train. It's bringing the joy. So each one of the nieces and nephews got one, and oh man, well, you had a kind of a special moment when the box got opened for the niece, who's probably the most sentimental. And when she opened the box and looked in, she just didn't speak for like 2 minutes. And then her eyes were welling up because everyone knew that significance, And there's certain things in our lives, there's certain gifts like that just hold such memory and value. So I felt really honored, and it was a pleasure to get closer to my nephew and also to be part of that.
Yeah,
really
now
great
they all
build.
have families of their own, so they can have a train for their kids.
Carry on the tradition.
Cool.
So there are those kinds of gifts that take a little longer, but I hope you got maybe some ideas of some small projects that might bring a little joy to someone in your life. I don't want to finish without mentioning what we just finished. We just finished a big course on this contemporary dining chair. Now, I borrowed this seat from another chair I had in the house. It just happened to almost fit. It's a little loose, but the final one will really fit in there nicely. And this is unfinished cherry, so it's going to get redder, browner, and look quite nice. But this one has more curves on it and all flush-fitting joints. So it's much more, it's almost sculptural. It's kind of a hybrid between a craftsman chair and I call it the contemporary because of all the curves and the flush-fitting joints. It's more challenging, so you've got almost like a piece of studio furniture in a craftsman style inspired design. But what I did here was I added a little more curve to the previous ones I've made. And I'm telling you, when I sit in this chair now, I can't wait to get these finished. I actually have, it's really comfy. But I actually have 6 of them going, so I'm gonna finish those out. It's a great chair. If you wanted to take this class, if you're in the neighborhood, you've got access to it right now. So go ahead and check it out. If you haven't seen the video, we have full-size drawings for it as well. If you're not in the neighborhood, you can check that out. It's awesome. So
Purchase them individually or whatever you want.
yeah, but that was a fun project. So I'm glad to end the year strong like that. We've had a great year. We'll be sending out a summary of the year and a look ahead. We'll be sending out some information of the new schedule coming in January. We'll be sending that out in January.
Yeah, if you're not already on our mailing list, that would be a great idea. We, of course, are doing this on the third Thursday of the month, but we also will be doing some spontaneous lives. Tom has been actually going live from the shop. He did a couple last week. Just pop it up on the YouTube and connect with people for 15 or 20 minutes. So if you follow us on YouTube and you want to know about those during any given day when he decides to do that, you can identify in your settings on YouTube what your preference is to how you get notified. Some people choose to get emails, some people get a banner across their device, and you can choose how that.
How do you choose that? Is
Let
that
you-
the bell thing?
Yeah, they change the method all the time, but you click on the bell. I think now it's kind of like a pull-down menu. If you click on the bell, it'll give you how you can choose what you want.
The light is so great during the day in these south-facing windows. I don't often share that, so I just stick my phone to the bandsaw over there and I aim it over here, and I'm gonna get better with my mic, and I just turn it on. I didn't know what was gonna happen, and people are chatting, and I didn't know emails went out. So if you got that on your setting, you'll be notified, and if you're hanging out, it's kind of fun because it's a little isolating sometimes to be in your shop, and for me too. So to have a window into each other's world like that in the middle of the day,
It's fun.
it's kind of fun.
I
Yeah.
got the email on the first one, and I went to go watch it, and it was deleted. So I let Tom know, that happens. So the
I
second
deleted
time,
it.
he didn't delete it. So it'll be up for probably another week, and then we'll take it down. I can put a link in that,
Yeah.
in the description here.
It's super
be active for a
relaxed. I
little
mean,
while.
it's so it's just, I'm in the middle of something, I may be getting ready for a course that night or whatever. So it's a good time.
I also wanted to mention, again, being on our mailing list, you may have received the email yesterday that we did upload a pretty brief edited video, where we expect to do more of this series where Tom answers a question that's been posed to him, and this one was, where do you buy your lumber? Where do you find your lumber? And our daughter filmed that up at the Shaker Village. If you're interested in that, I'll put the link to that also. You can see it if you haven't already.
I think that was like a beautiful summer night. And so if you're feeling the cold of winter and you want to just get a splash of the feel of summer, that was just a few months ago. And it was a stunning night at the Shaker Village. Like after it's closed, we can walk around the grounds, and we look back, and you'll see. It's really a nice. She did a great job shooting it with a simple GoPro camera.
Mm-hmm.
So thank you so much for being part of this. We really are in that reflective mood, looking back on the year, all the things we've been through and done and shared and opened our doors, and you showed up and enriched our lives. So we couldn't do this without you part of it, and we just can't believe where this has gone from the first day we turned on the camera. So thanks for being there for us. We look forward to another great year. We're gonna step back for a week or two here with kids here, and be planning and getting ready for another year. You'll be hearing from us soon. So from our home to yours, we hope you have a wonderful Christmas and New Year, and enjoy your holidays in whatever ways you like.
Yes. Yes, we're so thankful for all of you.
All right.
Fun to be with you again tonight.
So thanks again for being here on behalf of the camera lady and myself. We look forward to seeing you next time. Right back here on Shop Night Live. Good night, everybody.
Good night, everyone. Thank you. Take care.